Good morning, Pete. Well, the U.S. intelligence community and military community are targeting this week as something's going to happen. Now they know that the ball is in Iran's court. Iran has to decide whether it wants to hit Israel, which is a hard target. That is because it'll be a hard response, or they could hit American forces, and that'll be a softer response in the sense that America doesn't want to escalate this thing. And I think it's very interesting that today the Israelis took a brigade out of Gaza, supposedly for resting and refitting, but it might be they're looking at a second front in Lebanon or something like that. And of course, Pete, the thing we're not talking about, when we're talking about every other damn thing about this war, and war is hell. I mean, all the wrong people get killed sometimes, is that Iran has been calling a shot since day one. One of the things that I noticed, and that was not reported very much, was after the October 7th attack, which was as barbarous as it gets, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard bragged, and it was picked up and translated from Persian into English, that this was a response. This was a vengeance for the Trump's assassination of General Soleimani, and that they keep their promises. These guys have probably planned this a long time, and Hamas and Iran is behind all of this. And the Americans don't want this war to get any larger. I mean, Biden is terrified it's going to get larger. He's trying to contain it. Of course, Netanyahu has no problem enlarging the war if he's attacked, so he's in a perfect position to do so.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? Do you think Netanyahu's going to get support? I mean, there's so many of his countries that are supposed to be friends of Israel are now, moving to distance themselves because of what's going on in Gaza. How are they going to feel or react if Netanyahu opens up the war to other fronts?
Well, the war will, of course, be forced on him by the Iranians. Look, he's got a public relations problem here. But, keep in mind that at the height of the Vietnam War, which is very unpopular, both in Australia, finally, and the United States, no one was forcing Lyndon Johnson from office. He still had all of his allies, though NATO didn't go to the Vietnam War. I mean, you can still maintain these kinds of contacts. And keep in mind that most of the nations that were going to do business with Israel, particularly in the Middle East, the Arab nations, they don't know what to do with the Palestinian problem anyway. They don't want the Palestinians on their doorstep. They reckon that there is a Palestinian solution. Netanyahu thinks there is a Palestinian state. It's called Jordan. They can go home there, he says. But look, he's got a problem, and I think the Israelis, as angry as they are at him, despite the pressure on him to call an election, I think they'll let him stay the course until this thing is over. And it isn't going to be over till the hostages come home or their bodies come. I can't imagine who's left, as a matter of fact. But Abraham Lincoln once said, Pete, you don't want to change horses in the middle of the stream, in the middle of a war. And so I think the Israelis are going to let Netanyahu finish this thing out. How he finishes it, of course, is going to be very interesting and might even be spectacular.
Okay, we will see. And Joe, if there is an attack by Iran this week, I'm coming back to you. Our oracle here, Joe Siracusa, good to chat.